Welcome to Wonderwave, where history meets legend. Today we'll unravel one of the most captivating tales in English folklore, the legend of Robin Hood. Is it based on historical fact, or is it simply a well-spun myth? Let's explore the origins, historical references, and the truth behind the famous outlaw who stole from the rich and gave to the poor. The story of Robin Hood has been told for centuries, but where did it come from? The first mention of Robin Hood appears in medieval ballads from the 14th and 15th centuries. These songs portray him as a skilled archer, a cunning outlaw, and a man of the people operating in Sherwood Forest. Yet these ballads don't paint the same picture of the Robin Hood we know today. Early versions don't mention Maid Marian, the Sheriff of Nottingham, or even the famous slogan about redistributing wealth. These details were added later, evolving with time and culture. The question remains, was Robin Hood a real historical figure, or a creation of popular imagination? Historians have debated this for years, and several theories suggest that Robin Hood may have been based on real individuals, or a blend of several different people. One of the most common theories is that Robin Hood was inspired by a 13th century outlaw named Robert Hood. He lived during the reign of King John, a period of high taxes and social unrest. Other historical figures that may have inspired the legend include Fulk Fitzwarren, a nobleman who rebelled against King John, and Hereward the Wake, a famous English resistance fighter. Sherwood Forest, often seen as the home of Robin and his merry men, is a real place in Nottinghamshire, England. In medieval times, forests like Sherwood were considered royal hunting grounds, and outlaws would hide there to evade capture. While it's true that Sherwood was a refuge for those who opposed the crown, the idea of Robin Hood and his band of merry men living there in secrecy for years may be more legend than fact. The Sheriff of Nottingham, a historical figure. The Sheriff of Nottingham, Robin Hood's sworn enemy, is a central character in the legend. But was there really such a figure? Historically, the Sheriff of Nottingham was a real position during medieval England, responsible for maintaining law and order and collecting taxes. Some historical records mention sheriffs who were particularly harsh or corrupt, which may have contributed to the image of the sheriff as a villain in the Robin Hood tales. But there is no definitive evidence linking a specific sheriff to Robin Hood's legend. The political context, rebellion and resentment. To understand why the Robin Hood legend resonated with people, we need to look at the political climate of medieval England. The period was marked by social inequality, high taxes and a struggling peasantry. The ruling elite often exploited the poor, leading to widespread resentment. Robin Hood became a symbol of resistance against tyranny. In an age when common people had little recourse, a heroic outlaw who defied the crown and helped the poor would have been an incredibly appealing figure. Robin Hood's moral code, justice or crime. One of the key aspects of the Robin Hood legend is his moral code. He is often seen as a noble criminal, someone who breaks the law for a higher cause. The famous phrase, "he stole from the rich and gave to the poor," suggests a sense of justice, even if his methods were illegal. But could such an outlaw have truly existed in medieval England without facing severe consequences? Outlaws were hunted down, and the penalties for crimes like theft were harsh, often leading to execution. The reality of surviving as a band of thieves in this environment may not align with the romanticized version of the story. How Robin Hood evolved over time. As centuries passed, the Robin Hood story evolved. In the Tudor period, playwrights and storytellers embellished the tale, adding romantic elements like Maid Marian and his rivalry with the Sheriff of Nottingham. By the Victorian era, Robin Hood was firmly established as a folk hero. The legend was also shaped by political movements. During times of social upheaval, Robin Hood became a symbol for justice and rebellion. In the 19th century, socialist movements embraced the character as a champion of the working class. Robin Hood in modern pop culture. Today, Robin Hood's story continues to captivate audiences through books, films and television shows. From Errol Flynn's swashbuckling portrayal in the 1938 film to modern adaptations, Robin Hood remains a symbol of resistance, fairness and freedom. Interestingly, each adaptation reflects the concerns and values of its time. The story has been used to address issues like corruption, inequality, and the abuse of power, proving that Robin Hood's legacy is as relevant today as ever. Conclusion. So, was Robin Hood fact or fiction? The truth is, it's a bit of both. While the historical records are inconclusive, the legend has endured for centuries because it speaks to universal themes of justice, resistance, and hope for the oppressed. Whether or not there was a real Robin Hood, his story continues to inspire generations, reminding us that sometimes standing up to injustice is a tale worth telling. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe to Wonderwave for more deep dives into the world of history, myth, and mystery. Until next time, stay curious.